Hello. Well, I've just been to Asda. It's boiling hot out there, which is just across the road. It's not far from where I live. Here in the north of England, where there is a large Muslim population, and what I noticed on the way is lots of non-Muslim ladies, because of the hot weather, just as we do in the West, we strip off. We basically strip off, and of course we are very overweight here in the UK. So what you're looking at is very tight tops, always lycra, isn't it? It's up there, and you know low, and the bottom's totally exposed, and it's coming up here, the tops, and everything's tight, and everything's you look and you think they're all wearing a top too small, a dress too small, and exposing so much flesh, and it's not very attractive. I find myself looking at the tops and thinking, well, the top's very nice. It's just too much flesh is visible, and it's particularly with older women. Particularly, and if you're putting on lots of weight and it's just excess flash everywhere and everything's over, and it just looks slightly sort of slutty a bit, so not very dignified. And then as I was leaving Aston, I saw this lady, Muslim lady, and she had the most beautiful shade of blue scarf, gorgeous, pinned, and she had a long white long sleeved blouse, obviously modesty covering the arms, with a lovely pretty little pattern, and it was draped over it was absolutely gorgeous. I think it was a Peruna skirt, long denim skirt. This was a really nice skirt which had a lovely, I think it was a flippy kind of thing, flippy at the end, and as she walked it's sort of flipping out, and she looked really lovely. And I stopped her outside, I was outside, and I said, oh, can I just say, I just love your outfit, you look so lovely. And of course I'm in blue, but I've got a blue top, which again is fairly modest. I'm not revealing all my breasts, and most of my arms covered up, and I've got jeans on, so I'm not sort of exposing everything. And she said to me, oh, you look very nice too, because we're both in blue, you see. And I'm thinking, isn't, you see so many women in Leeds, West Yorkshire, where I live, who look lovely. Uh, and it just shows you that a woman can actually dress modestly and look lovely, and look really, really lovely. And you're thinking, why can't we in the West get this? Why can't we get this? And particularly in the UK, that a woman can look really lovely without exposing everything so much. The bust is in it, everything's popping out, and too tight. That's another thing, you see, which makes you even, it exaggerates the fact you're already a bit overweight, and then you have everything too small and everything's bulging out, and it's like what you're looking around, and it's like slut. It just looks like very common, and it's just like everybody's gorging, and they've suddenly decided to put on very few clothes, and it's all and I'm thinking, uh, why isn't, why can't it be encouraged? Why can't it become fashionable for, in the West, for women to start dressing a bit more modestly? There's no doubt, I think men do have more respect, and they do judge a woman by how much flesh she exposes. There's no doubt about that. Because it's all about giving signals and messages to men, because this is what it's all about. It's about the men. Because as far as a man is concerned, the more a woman reveals of a body, who is she revealing all this flesh for? Well, men think, well, it's for me, obviously. She's doing it for me. She's doing it to attract me. And let's be honest, that is the reason. What other reason? Why do women have to expose so much and flesh and have everything so tight and thinking it's so sexy? Because when you are dressing to look sexy, what you're doing is, excuse me for swearing, but it's the only word that will get the message across is I am fuckable. Fuck me, don't I look sexy? Don't you want to take me to bed with me? And this is the message women in the West are giving to men as they walk around with everything far too tight and going out to clubs and bars and everything's over. Too much is exposed. I've done tweets about this, and can I tell you, I've sent it to pubs and so many people agree with me. So many people are agreeing with me. Now, who's agreeing with me? I would say it's the men. Because men know, they judge a woman by the way she dresses. Is she what's called in the old-fashioned word promiscuous? Is she up for it? Is she easy for sex? And when you look at that Muslim woman, the way she's dressed, she's looking so modest. I mean, the whole head doesn't, even if without the hijab, it was just a scarf. It wasn't up to the nose. It wasn't a burqa. It was just round here. It's really very sweet. It's so feminine. It is so feminine. It's beautifying. She actually looked really, really beautiful. And it's very becoming to a woman, actually. You get a nice scarf and you think, oh, isn't she pretty? It draws your attention to the eyes and everything. Isn't she pretty? She's nice, And I think probably in terms of men and women, I think in some respects this could be a liberating thing for many women to dress modestly, because instead of drawing attention of men to the flesh, my boobs, all the exposed flesh and everything's tight and the tight breasts and everything and the hips and everything in the bottom. Instead of that, if a man is noticing what beautiful eyes you've got, what woman would not be more flattered to have a man say, oh, you've got beautiful eyes, if I may say so. I mean, most women would be, oh, over the moon. But what can a man say? What women are accentuating is their bottoms. So a man is just looking and thinking, that's a nice arse, isn't it? Those are nice pair of tits. Those are nice boobs. And do women really want that deep down? Or would you much rather have a man think to himself, oh, she looks like a lovely person. She's a lovely person to talk to. She's really very beautiful. She's got a lovely expression in her eyes, and she's got it. You see, what are you drawing attention to? And women in the West are drawing attention to the body. They want men to appreciate them as people. I want to be treated like a person. I want you to value me for my intelligence. But how can a man do that if you are accentuating so excessively your curves? If you are drawing so much attention to your bottom and to your boobs and to your midriff and everything and to your legs, how is it possible for a man to become focused on your intelligence? And what all women crave for is the appreciation of the inner beauty. So what we have here is a battle, because a man cannot appreciate your inner beauty if you yourself are projecting so excessively, drawing his attention to your body, to your boobs, to your bottom, to having your short skirt, your legs. And this is what women are doing. And I would say you can't have it both ways, because from a man's point of view, men think, well, she's exposing all this flesh because she wants sex. She's obviously wants me to admire her body. Right? She wants people to look and say she's got a nice bottom, she's got nice legs, she's got a nice breast, she's got a flat midriff, you see. But if you dress more modestly, then a man is going to be listening to you more. He's not going to be focused on your breasts and the rest of you so much. It's you and the inner you. And I just wish we in the West could get this and learn from it. And I'm Jewish, and it's the same within the Orthodox Jewish community. Women dress modestly. Okay, they're not wearing, well, obviously a lot of Jewish women in the Orthodox Jewish community, they wear a scarf. They perhaps tie it differently to the Muslim ladies, but they wear a scarf, or they might wear a wig, and they wear something like this, covering the elbows, and the skirts are more, just below the knees, and it's the top is not too low, it's just a round neck here, and it's all very nice, and it's so dignified, and it somehow commands more respect from a man. And I think it's particularly important as women get older. You've got to be. We do, I'm 60, and the thing is, once you start getting into your late 30s, you are putting on weight, and it is a struggle. And I don't think all the tight fashion is helping women. And I just would like women in the West to start looking at women who are dressing more modestly and think, what can I learn from this? It doesn't mean you have to copy it exactly. I'm not saying you should wear a burqa or a hijab or totally cover. What I'm saying is, can I learn from this? And are men more respectful to women who are dressed like this? And I would say they are, without a shadow of a doubt. Men are more respectful. I've seen it. I've lived here, where a large Muslim community, 18 years, and the men are, they are different with ladies who dress more modestly. They're much more respectful. They watch the language. They don't swear. They're not vulgar to them. Men automatically start behaving like gentlemen. And that's what every woman craves. She wants a man to treat her like a gentleman. But I'm sorry, but if you dress like a hooker, he won't treat you like a gentleman. Right? He will treat you and have that attitude that you're a hooker. He thinks you're a nice girl, obviously, but you're a hooker. You're a slut. You're a prostitute. You're exposing all your body. Because let's be honest, when I was a child, 1950s, 1960s, the only women that dressed so provocatively, exposing so much flesh, were prostitutes. Because let me tell you, working girls don't necessarily dress showing all the flesh when they're not working. Because that's their uniform, that's what they have to dress like that. Obviously, it's a job. That is their job. They're selling themselves, they're selling their physical body. They have to make them to entice the men for sex, right? But when they're not working, probably a lot of these women just want to just dress modestly because, it's their way of relaxing. They don't want to draw attention to themselves because they're off duty. They're not working. They're not selling themselves to a man. So they probably dress more modestly. And so what I'm advocating is for women in the West to start looking and noticing how beautiful a woman can look by even when she dresses modestly. And you look at the saris, you look at the women in India, and you think, oh, don't they look so beautiful? Beautiful saris and the jewellery and the bracelets, and you're thinking, isn't that really, really beautiful? And why can't we incorporate some of this into Western fashion? Why aren't we thinking, wouldn't this be nice to have, more? Where can you buy modest clothes? It's very, very difficult. I'm going on eBay for blouses, and everything is all. There's nothing of it. There's nothing of it. It's very even hard to find beautiful, modest clothes, and I think there's a market out there, and it just has to be considered, perhaps. And perhaps in the West it has to be like a new fashion. Look more modest, look more ladylike, and just see the impact it has on men, and just get women to perhaps behave more ladylike, to walk more ladylike, not exposing the flesh, to talk, to not be sweary, to not be vulgar, to not be coarse. And maybe we women would get more respect from men. And I think a lot of the disrespect that women get from men is because of the way we dress, the way we speak, the way we walk, the way we behave. Because I've seen it with the Muslim ladies that automatically Western men, when they're interacting with ladies who are more modestly dressed, are much more respectful. They're like, it's like, ooh, it's like they've got to be on the best behaviour. And that's good. Because what we women do is have to train men how to teach us. And the first way you train a man how to teach you is the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you speak, the way you hold yourself. If you want respect, you have to look at your own behaviour and the signals you are giving by not only the clothes you wear, but also your behaviour.